Slow down. Right, people. The last season, it's literally just ended with England and that game last night and that disappointing 3-2 defeat. But the fixtures for next season are now with us. And we're going to go through them now. Adam's here with me. He's on Twitter. If you want to chat to Adam and chat to us, then we're on Twitter right now at Ball Street. Also, you can chat to us in the comments and we'll read through what you think about it. So with the fixtures, this is how it works. There's literally like one bloke. It's a bloke called Glenn Thompson who sorts out 2,036 fixtures. And people. Oh, that's me. Last season literally just ended with England and that game last. Don't want to hear me twice, do you? And there's a thing I think is quite interesting in this, and I'm sure for your team you'll be looking at it right now. Let us know what you think about your fixture list. What are the games that you're pleased about, excited about? What are the first games that you look out for? And there's, as I was saying, with the fixture list, there's a thing called sequencing. So this dude, Glenn Thompson, he's got to do this thing where there's 5 different sequences of fixtures, sort of blocks of fixtures that he puts together to get the fixture list sorted out, and then that almost goes in reverse. So you'll often see that that sort of group of 5 teams that you play at one period of the season, you'll end up playing again later on in the season. So let us know which sort of sequence of games, which month you think is going to be key for your team, which fixtures you're happy with, which fixtures you're not happy with. Me and Adam will go through some of the comments, but we're also going to go through the games themselves. So if you haven't had a chance to look at the fixture list and the games that are coming out so far, they're here, and I'm going to read out now the opening weekend's games. So what we've got is Arsenal are going to be playing Leicester City at home. Brighton are going to be playing Man City at home. So their first game in the Premier League, which apparently there's a story that they requested to have a home game because it's a big deal. That's a bit cheeky, I think.
Very cheeky.
Yeah. So, but they've got a big one first up. So let us know what you think. If you're a newly promoted team, as a QPR fan, when we would go up, we had Bolton at home first game of the season. Got drubbed 4-0, and the problem you have with that, I think, is if you get a small team first up, the first game of the season, it kind of, I mean, it's not like it doesn't matter. It's all 3 points, but you take away the opportunity to play Bolton later down the line, I think.
I think you want to get a small team.
Do you?
Definitely.
Okay, let us know what you think. Would you want, first game of the season, what are you after? Are you after a home tie, an away tie, a big team or a small team? But Brighton have got Man City at home, so Brighton fans, let us know what you think. Chelsea, every single time. Craig, get ready to grin again. Chelsea have got Burnley at home every single year. They haven't lost opening day fixture since 1998 when they lost to Coventry City, which was a bit of a shock at the time. I think Dion Dublin smashed it up, got a hat-trick that day. So they've got Burnley first game of the season, but it's a lot trickier for them as it goes on, which we'll get into. Crystal Palace are playing Huddersfield in their first game of the season. Huddersfield in the Premier League for the first time since 1972. We'll also be going to be looking at Huddersfield's fixtures because they've got some naughty ones at the end of the season, which is the crunch time for the teams that are going to be down the bottom there. Everton play Stoke in their first game. Man United have got West Ham at home for their first game. Newcastle, they start off life in the Premier League as they finished off leaving the Premier League 2 seasons ago when they play Spurs at home. Southampton have got Swansea. Watford have got Liverpool at home. And West Brom have got Bournemouth at home for that first game of the season. So, looking at the opening weekend, and ads, what one sort of flies out at you there?
To be honest, I wouldn't say there's any games that hugely stick out as massive, or particularly, exciting games.
Not even West Brom Bournemouth.
Not even West Brom Bournemouth. I think the second weekend of the season looks a bit more interesting with Chelsea Tottenham playing each other.
Absolutely. I think one big game I think for Liverpool fans obviously is that Watford one, because you've got a Champions League qualifier the week after. So to kick off away, I think you probably would have preferred playing at home. But Watford, I don't think that's a good one where you could probably rest 1 or 2 players if you want to just make sure that they're safe for those qualifiers and still win that game. So I think that's a good one for Liverpool fans. Newcastle, that's an interesting one. I think it's good that they're starting off at home against Spurs. Spurs probably, what an end to the season they had, 12 wins out of 13. So if they can get off to a flying start and keep it going, that was probably the thing that cost them last year, that opening set of games. So playing Newcastle first up, I don't know if that's a good one or not, to be honest.
I think that's the most exciting game.
Yeah.
the opening weekend.
I agree. Arsenal, of course. So Arsenal, renowned for having a difficult start. They had a tumultuous season last season, and that all kicked off with losing to Liverpool first game of the season. Leicester City start the season and end the season in North London, both away games. Of course, it's Arsenal for that first one. I think with Shakespeare there, getting them playing well again, they'll be looking to kind of not rest on their laurels. They might have a new team that doesn't have Mahrez in it. He wants to go, but I don't think there's been too much interest in him yet. But for them, for Arsenal, you've got to be looking to win that first game. And if, as we've had in previous seasons, Arsenal have that summer of frustration in the transfer window, if they don't win that game, it's all going to kick off again. Let's look at the last games of the season. So this is going to be crucial at either end of the table, or again, there could be dead rubbers by that point. But what I find interesting about the last games of the season is both the top teams and the bottom teams, a lot of them are matching up against each other. So the 3 promoted teams, Newcastle fans, I'm sure they'll be hoping that they'll be mid-table and completely safe. But Newcastle have got Chelsea at home for that last game of the season. Huddersfield Town have got Arsenal at home for that last game of the season. And Brighton have got Liverpool away. So for the teams down the bottom to go to those sides and have to win that game, that's going to be a massive ask for all those guys to do. Elsewhere, I think Man City have got quite an easy one. Southampton away. I guess we'll see where they are. They're probably going to be mid-table, you would imagine, Southampton. So that could be an easy one for Man City. Burnley play Bournemouth at home. Crystal Palace play West Brom at home. And Man United have got Watford at home. So Man United will be happy with that one, because Watford, if either they're going to be in a relegation battle, or if it's been like previous seasons, Watford are going to be on the beach. So that could be an easy one for Man United if they need to win that last game of the season. Let's have a look at a couple of your comments. Ben Evans, Watford to go down 2017-18. Yeah, it's good to get your predictions, actually. Do you feel like the fixtures play a part in all of that? It'd be interesting to know what you think about that. Rafa to get the Magpies into the Euro places, says Carlos David. What do you think about that?
What's that?
Newcastle to get into the European places?
You never know.
It's a big ask, I think.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely.
Yeah. Pokemaster 1407 and start of February, Spurs face Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal in 10 days. Yes, that February is a key month for both North London clubs. As you just said there, Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal during that time. If Spurs are still... What's going to be interesting here, so Arsenal, key months for them. Let's go into a bit more detail into a few of the teams now. So Arsenal, the key months for them, of course, is February and November. It's when they have their wobbles. It's when they had a wobble last year, the year before that. November is a difficult one for them. Let me just find it. So in November, they've got to play Man City away, Tottenham at home, then they've got Burnley and Huddersfield. But what we saw last year is Everton and Man City losing 2 games back to back. It made them wobble.
Derailed them a bit.
Did derail them. So those 2 teams, I think Man City are going to do well this season, a lot better than last season, and Spurs, they're solid. So those are 2 huge games for them. And then February, the time when Arsenal do really, really struggle. There are some massive games for both Arsenal and Spurs. We've already read out that from Pokemaster 1407. But for Arsenal, you've got Everton, Spurs and Man City in that month. It's where the wheels normally fall off, but it's where they normally have Champions League football as well. So do you think that will play a part?
Well, I've seen just here that Arsenal will play away from home 5 times out of their 6 fixtures after Europa League group stage games, which is obviously tough.
Would that lead... So if you're an Arsenal fan, does that mean, again, I think you probably were thinking already, let's play... Certainly in the group stages where you're going to get some random teams in Europe that you should be beating, even with your second.
They might be flying to Ukraine on a Thursday and then
playing an away game on
to Newcastle on a Saturday. In contrast, Tottenham have got really kind fixtures after the Champions League group games. They've got Swansea, Huddersfield, Liverpool, Palace, West Brom and Stoke. So they've got quite a kind fixture list post-Europe.
I think what might be interesting in that February as well, though, is the fact that Spurs, if they get to the final stages of it, which that will be the next stage for them, that's what they want to be doing next. they'll have to do what Arsenal have had to do previously and play those games straight after it, and big games as well. So that could be a tough one for them. Obviously, they need to start well at Wembley as well. Let's have a look at Huddersfield. So Matty Wilson, the owner of Ball Street, he is a Huddersfield fan. He'll be looking at the fixture list thinking, in my opinion, I think he'll be pleased with that first game. Crystal Palace are away. You've got a chance of getting some points on the board early doors. What he won't be happy with is the fact that in their last 4 games, let me just find it. In their last 4 games, they have to play Chelsea, Everton, Man City, and Arsenal at home for that last game of the season. I think this is, when it gets to the end of the season, we see it every single year. The teams at the bottom start winning games. The teams at the top start having a bit of a wobble. But you saw Swansea doing it last year. But to play those tough teams when Huddersfield won, they only won the playoffs a couple of weeks ago, so they haven't been able to do much in the transfer window just yet because you don't know what kind of budget you're going to have to use, especially a team like Huddersfield who relied heavily on loans last season. If you look at the betting for the Premier League next season, they are bottom in terms of winning the Premier League. Of course, no one's expecting them to do that. 2,500 to 1. They're also bottom to most likely to get relegated at 4 to 7. So there's a general understanding that you'd expect them to be right down there. Yeah. But I think QPR, when we got relegated, we stayed up. We had Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Man City last game of the season. Fortunately, we had a lot of those at home, but not all of those games are at home. The Arsenal one is, and I think maybe the Everton one is. But I think that's going to kill them, isn't it? Because they're not going to be safe by that point.
It would have been an incredible achievement if they'd stayed up anyway. I think
not down yet.
No, but I mean they're coming up. They're the fifth smallest budget in the Championship last year.
Yeah.
So I mean a lot of their squad was on loan. They might not even keep quite a lot of those players. So it would have been a tall order anyway. But with those last 4 or 5 games looking really tough, feels a bit like it's another nail in the coffin.
It does. Yeah, it feels like a tricky one for them. I think the key thing for Huddersfield is going to be keeping those loan players or getting them back. The good thing is they are from huge clubs. They're from Chelsea, they're from Man City. You've got Aaron Moy, Casey Palmer, Izzy Brown. Those were the 3 key men for Huddersfield last season. So if they can get them back in, which I think for their progression, if you're Chelsea or Man City manager or whatever,
they're going to develop more.
They're going to develop, play at a higher level, aren't they? Yeah. So sticking with the relegation teams, or the teams that we expect to be down there, Swansea, the key month for them is going to be February and March. They've got Leicester, Burnley, Brighton, West Ham, Huddersfield and Southampton in that period of time. It'll be interesting to see where they sit when they go into those games, because for Swansea, that's where they turned it around last year, but they had a new manager at that point. You would really hope that Paul Clement's going to have a whole season to get things going there. But if they are sticking with him and it's not going that well, that's a really key set of fixtures that they're going to need to get points if they want to sort of survive again. Let's have a look at a few of your comments. Okay. Tough game for Spurs, second up. You said that, didn't you, Ads?
Chelsea, yeah.
That's Jack Tag. Chelsea have got a tough month. They start off with Burnley at home, which is, it's a good start for them. They should be winning that first game. Obviously, they're going to have a few problems over the summer. One being the fact that Hazard's not going to be fit for the start of the season. But I guess when you look at that first fixture, playing Burnley, that's great, because you should be able to dispatch of them. Mm-hmm. They were awful away last season, and Chelsea should be too strong for them. But after that, there are a few difficult games for them. They've got Spurs, second game of the season. And they have Man City that they play in that period of time, and who else have they got? Let's have a look. In that opening set of fixtures, so Burnley, Spurs, Everton, Leicester, Arsenal, Stoke City, Man City, all before the end of September. So if you've got your talisman in Hazard not fit, or even if he is fit, he's going to be coming back and trying to get his fitness back. That's going to be a tough set of fixtures for them to defend the title. Let's have a look.
So just a few tweets from the network. Toffee TV say Well, that's a fucking horrible start.
So yeah, Everton's fixtures.
They've been dealt a pretty poor hand.
Yeah, just so if you're an Everton fan who's just tuning in, welcome. You've got Stoke City first game of the season at home. That is nice. We'd be happy with that, right? Then it gets a little bit ropey, yeah. Man City away, Chelsea away, Spurs at home, Man United away. That's difficult. It was all looking rosy. You got Pickford in. Apparently you're going to spend 150 million during the summer. You're going to have this amazing squad. And then, at least you get to test them out.
Well, because that means, they've got those 4 or 5 teams out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
they've got a nice clear run through to... or relatively clear run through to Christmas.
Yeah, you're right. So after that, it's not all doom and gloom. Obviously, I think it would be a case of being patient if you're an Everton fan going into those games, because after that, that's when you've got a real opportunity, because from the Arsenal game on the 21st of October, you've then got Leicester, Watford, Palace, Southampton, West Ham, Huddersfield, before you play Liverpool in the Derby away. So there's a good opportunity for you guys to get yourself back going. But if you can have a cracking start, we saw this with West Ham 2 seasons ago. West Ham had these nightmare away games to start with, did well in them, got a few wins out of them, and that's what catapults you. It's getting those wins where you're not expected to get them. Yeah. And for Everton, they need to do well against the better team. So you might have a better chance by catching these guys at the start of the season than when they're up and running. I don't know. So Akshay Avad says Man United won the fixtures. Yeah, we had a chat with Sam whilst we were setting up for this live stream. He's pretty happy with it. They've got no excuses if you're a Man United fan at the start of the season. They should be flying by the time it gets to Liverpool on October the 14th. We'll go through some of the big dates in terms of those top 6 teams and the derby games, the ones that you look out for during the season in a second. But they kick off with West Ham at home, Swansea, Leicester City, Stoke City, Everton, which of course is a tough game. I mean, they're all tough games in the Premier League, and we saw that last season. It's not an easy league, which is why we love the Premier League. But they would expect themselves to be winning. Even Everton at home, it's a home game. They need. Last season wasn't good enough at home. This year, if they can turn a lot of those draws into wins, then they give themselves a chance. They're second in terms of the betting for winning the Premier League next season. That's above Chelsea. That's above Arsenal. That's above Spurs. So people would be expecting them to do well, and I think with those initial fixtures, they should be getting off to a really good start, because in terms of the top 4 teams, the first time to play a top 4 team is on October the 14th. Then they got Huddersfield, then they got Spurs, then Chelsea. So that October-November time is maybe a tricky period for them. But like we said, this is the thing with these fixtures. You can go up and down with it. But what I do think is important is momentum. Yeah. And what happens if you don't do well in those tough games, or those easy games at the start of the season, is, I tell you what, Social Club, they'll be at them. On Twitter, they'll be at them. Their own fans are going to be all over them, and that pressure it's not helpful. Whereas you saw Chelsea went on that great run, then had great momentum, which kept them going all the way through to winning the title. Marble Halls TV, who I know is an Arsenal fan, he's saying United will improve, top 4 definitely. What else we got? With Petio 1980, with the exception of Liverpool, we are playing 5 of the top 6 in our first 8 games. Then after the first week of February, only got Man City and Liverpool from the top 6 till the end of the season. I think that's Everton, I think he's talking about.
Paul Machin's written in and said, lads, happy with Liverpool's fixtures. Not amazing, not terrible. Just a solid set of games with very few, oh my God, we've got X, we've got Y moments.
Yeah. Team, so in terms of who won it, I think Man United do have a good start to it. When we look at the whole season, when we've had we've dived into it as much as we can in the little period of time we've had since the fixtures came out on at 9 o'clock. But Man City, I think, have got a real opportunity here to do something. I tell you what, before I kind of say that, what are you looking for when Brentford's fixture list comes out? What are you after?
So naturally, QPR and Fulham.
Yeah. So the big derby games.
The first 2 that catch your eye. Then it's a nice, enjoyable game on the first day of the season. So preferably someone we can beat, or a nice away day.
Yeah, sweet. Not too far away, or are you happy with it being away because it's summer?
I don't mind if it's far away, if it's like Newcastle or something where it's like a big fun day out. But Yeah, you don't want to be trekking off to Barnsley or whatever away on the first day.
True.
I think everyone looks at Boxing Day. Everyone wants a home game on Boxing Day, don't they? And last game of the season as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many like massive ones on Boxing Day. Let me know if obviously there's a lot of fixtures here. So let me know if there are any that you've spotted that you think are decent. But I think in terms of a general spread of the fixtures, I think if you're a team down the bottom, you want to kind of play, and if you're a team at the top, you want to. You don't want big team.
No.
You want to mix so that if you've played Man City, you can then go and play, don't get angry, but like a Bournemouth at home, where you've got a chance to kind of
There's a couple
pick
teams
yourself up again.
Who really got tough starts looking at it. Leicester face Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea and Liverpool in their first 6 games.
It's tough.
Burnley's first 5 away games are Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool, Everton, and Man City.
See, both
of those stand out as like they could be struggling for points come sort of.
That's true.
September.
What I would, if I was a Burnley fan, I think you've got to be patient with Sean Dyche because he's been brilliant for you, and I think they would be. And the good thing about that, you're a Burnley fan. All those away games, you are not expecting to win any of those games. You have got a bit more of a chance at home, which you saw with Burnley last season. Did well against Liverpool. I think he beat Everton as well. So I think that's actually quite a good thing for Burnley.
I mean, yeah, when you think about in the context of Burnley, they don't win any away games anyway.
Well, they're not
really
expected to, no. So yeah, they're gonna, and I think generally the fans will be expecting to be down there. So if he gets to the last few games of the season, or certainly the second half of the season, you've got those guys at home. With the crowd behind you, you can go and do stuff. Yeah. So Man City, I feel, have got the best fixture list out of everyone. To be honest, certainly the teams that are going to be looking to win the league next season. They kick off with some really nice fixtures. Brighton away. Obviously, they'll be up for it, but they should be beating Brighton away. Everton's first few fixtures are pretty mean, as we've said already. But Everton at home, playing them at home is. It's obviously better than playing them away. Then Bournemouth. But then throughout the season, they've kind of got a big game, then a couple of easier games. And I think if I'm a Man City fan, with the team that he's got already, the disappointment of last season, the way he finished the season last season, I think with those fixtures and these final few fixtures that they've got, I think that for Man City, they could win. I'm calling it now. Man United, those pivotal games where I think Man City could maybe win the league this year. April the 7th against Man United at home, April 14th straight after Spurs away. If they're flying and they've got those 2 games, there are moments during April in particular where you have that test, and if you can get beyond it, then the title's yours. And for Man City, if they can do that, if they can get through those 2, that is the toughest little block that they've got, is Man United then Spurs, just a 2-game sort of streak of games in terms of tough ones. Then they've got Swansea, West Ham, Huddersfield, Southampton in the run into the end of the season.
I think they've got the most even spread, haven't they?
Yeah.
You don't look at any of their months and go, that's a really, really tough month.
Yeah. So look, I'll see what you guys are saying. Jack Murray says Burnley, Huddersfield and... I don't know what shitty on is to go down. Does that mean Southampton?
Shitty on.
Make yourself clear, Jack, if you can, mate.
I'm sure.
Docs is saying, I'm calling Sunderland, Borough and Hull to go down. Well, that was last season, mate, so that doesn't make any sense. Josh Dixon, very happy with Man City's fixtures list. Maximum of 2 hard games a month, which is exactly what we've just been kind of saying there. Kevin Holmes, we love Dyche. Yeah, I like Dyche too. Burnley, our first 5 away games are tough, Kevin Holmes says as well. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think that's the end of the world for you. I think that might actually be a bit of a blessing when you get to the second half of the season.
Scott from 100% Leicester says, I'd rather have... Ooh, lost it. Yeah. Rather have tough games first and an easier run in. Hull away was meant to be easy last season and that turned out shit. So, yeah, he makes a good point.
Big games on the... What have I got here? It's on the 7th of... Sorry. What are the ones for Liverpool? That's not right, is it? That's not April 7th. Liverpool, Everton and Man United, Man City. Both those derbies, both home and away, are going to be played at the same time. I think it's December 9th. for both of them, which is going to be cool to see both of those guys playing at the same time. Other big games that are coming up, you've got Liverpool versus Man United, October the 14th at Liverpool at Anfield, and then on the 10th of is it March, I think, for the game at United. And one big game right near the end of the season. I'm a bit gutted with the last games of the season because you haven't seen any two big teams playing against each other in the last game that could be that kind of, that Arsenal v Liverpool title deciding game. Yeah. The one big one that we can see just before it, or two big ones just before the end of the season. One, Arsenal versus Man United on April 28th, and a Chelsea versus Liverpool on May the 5th, which will be the penultimate game, which could mean something. Let me know what you think about the fixtures. Which ones are you happy with? There's a thing in the fixture list in terms of how they get it set up where you can request to have a home game and not a home game. So if there was a dream fixture that you could have, let me know as well. Ben Evans, just hope there's an actual title race this season. I think that's a fair point. I think it was a little bit disappointing last season. It was fairly dull. You just want to keep it. You just want something going to the end of it.
More or less everything was wrapped up, wasn't it?
Yeah, because of Chelsea. What else we got here? West Ham, Nicky tweeted, didn't he?
He did.
Nicky from West Ham Fan TV saying that he was pretty much happy with who they've got. They've got City, Chelsea, and Arsenal in December, and that's a good point. The December games are a big one as well, because you'll feel like, okay, it's just another game, but you can start December right down the bottom of the league, and if you go on a decent run, like in the Championship, you definitely see that.
Yeah.
If you're a Championship fan, the fixtures come out next week, so don't worry, we're not like neglecting those ones, but yeah, they're not there yet.
Nicky tweeted, happy with our fixtures, although the first three have to be away, it could have been an awful lot worse.
Joe Tootle, Everton to finish higher than 7th. Do you agree with that, Ads?
I think it's a possibility. I think they're obviously the closest out of anyone to bridging the gap, but it will be tough. It'll need one of the top six to have a really poor season for Everton to usurp them.
True. I think. Who they get in the summer, isn't it?
Probably not going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Barkley might not be there. It depends a lot on what happens over the summer.
One last team that I think we should touch on is Brighton before we finish off this live. Keep letting us know what you think, and I'll have a read of what's your top fixture? What do you look out for? Which ones are you gutted about? Are you happy with your Boxing Day? Are you happy with your final day? Brighton, first time in the Premier League. I think they're a club that's been geared up to go up for a while. I like that. It's a good away day, Brighton. It's a good stadium. They sell it out, and the team that they had last year, I thought it was really strong. And I think I said this last year about Middlesbrough. I think that's a team that could be okay. I think they need one or two. I think they need a striker. I don't think Glenn Murray's. He's that Kevin Phillips guy, like at the end of his career, who will score goals in the Championship, but not sure he'll be able to do it in the Premier League. What do you think?
I think they need a lot of work, considerably more than Newcastle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see why they can't build a team that's able to compete with the likes of the other teams that are going to be down there. Just need to make some shrewd signings.
It's always tough for the teams that go up, but they kick off difficult start. Man City first game of the season. Then they've got a few easier games to get themselves going.
Very cheeky of them requesting a home game, first game of the season. You get what you're given.
And again, I think for that first day when you're just excited and it kind of the result doesn't matter that much, I actually think you're better off going away. I do. For a newly promoted, it's a day out, and you might sneak a draw because you're so jubilant and running off adrenaline, and no one's really.
It's a lottery first game of the season. You never know.
People aren't
going to come out the blocks quick.
Exactly. They also have a difficult last few games, so when it gets to the relegation dogfight and those last few games, we said it with Huddersfield, their difficult last four fixtures. Same for Brighton. Spurs, Man United and Liverpool in their last 4 games. It's going to be difficult for them to stay up if they are down there at that point. Because I think, again, I would be... Everyone was disappointed with the title race last season. I would expect this season to be a lot tighter. Mm-hmm. I would think that. Newcastle, the other promoted team, last game, a key month for them, as we said, October, November. They've got a lot of winnable games. Last game is away at home against Chelsea. I think they should be looking to do mid-table, and I think that's what the fans will be hoping for. I think they're excited with Rafa Benitez there, and I think they can do something. Let's read the last few comments from you guys, and then I think that'll be your lot. You can go and dive into your fixtures. Jack Tag, Spurs Arsenal will be mad. Same with Chelsea versus Spurs early. Any score predictions? I think it's a bit early for a score prediction. Yeah. I don't even know what the teams are.
5 months away.
4-4. Huddersfield, Burnley and Watford to go down, says Ricky Kane. I think when you look at the betting, Watford, Burnley, Brighton, Huddersfield, Swansea are the teams who are down there, and I think that's about fair. There seems like there's sort of brackets for the league this year. There is that top 6, but even within that top 6, in terms of the betting, you've got Man City, Man United and Chelsea, who are a bit further, shorter odds than the rest. Then Spurs, then Liverpool, Arsenal, who are down there. I think they're feeling that there's still that chaos, I guess, for want of a better word, with Arsenal and how their season's going to end up going. And for that reason, they're 6th favourites to win the league next season. Everton then, alone on their little desert island of 7th, miles ahead of the next few guys. You've then got that mid-table group of Southampton, Leicester, Stoke, West Ham and Newcastle, where I think you've got, if you have a nightmare season, they could drift into the relegation places, but I think they'll all be hoping to do something exciting and maybe sneak and get that 7th spot. Then those guys who I can imagine a manager going, it's basically from here on where you see all the managers go. Palace, Bournemouth, West Brom, Swansea, Brighton, Burnley, Watford and Huddersfield. Yeah. There's going to be chaos there throughout the season, which is always good.
Any one of those managers, bar Sean Dyche or Eddie Howe, goes on a poor run of games,
they're out.
Yeah, because we've seen this season, literally just bringing in a new manager seems to give a team this sort of bounce.
Gives it that
boost.
It's like a button, isn't it? It's that little turbocharge that you might.
It doesn't always last, but it doesn't need to last if it's gonna get you safe.
Yeah. So, last few comments from you. Southampton has pretty awesome fixtures. Top 4, come on. So that's Prayful Itty. So he's happy with the fixtures. Puel, I think you can imagine him being like one of the first lot to go. He's not gone, is he yet? Has Puel gone, Craig? No, don't think so. Carlos David, Huddy have a really good manager. Wagner, yep. He'll get them. Maybe the way that they'll be playing, it might sort of surprise a few teams, and I hope that they can stay up. Carlos David says it himself. They have a chance of staying up. Omar, key one. Huddersfield, Brighton and Watford to go down. Spurs and Liverpool to struggle for the Champions League. Ant-Man, Dallas, Everton to get top 4. I think that's the dream, isn't it? And that's what you should be doing as Everton fans, is dreaming of the top 4. That's the next stage for you. If you're going to bridge the gap, you need to get in there. George, MCHG, Newcastle, Spurs first game and Chelsea last game. That's his Newcastle fixtures. Yeah, I think they're 2 tough ones, aren't they, for you to start and end on. I think you just want to have a nice little boring run into the season if you're a Newcastle fan and play Chelsea in that last game and see if you can cause an upset like you did in the last time you were in the Premier League. Blue Nose 67, Southampton can't get top 4 when you sell your best players to Liverpool every year. Fair point. Sigerson, Lawrence's daddy, Sigerson to join Leicester and Mahrez to stay, and Leicester could get top 7.
We just had DT tweet us.
Cool.
We said, happy with your fixtures. He said, I am actually, but as long as we start well. Some tough early fixtures, but our run-in from March to May is superb.
Sweet. Yeah, I think Again, it's that February month for Arsenal. You've got those Europa League games. Are you still going to be in it by that point? And even if you are,
in an ideal world for Arsenal, they wouldn't be in Europa League come sort of March.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it? That's a kind of
but
understandable
they're a club that's
feeling.
tasted the Champions League. It's not like, an Everton.
Yeah, true. Very true. Few comments on Sigurdsson. A few teams want it. So Leicester want him. Everton. Ant-Man Dallas says Sigurdsson's going to Everton. I think it's time for him to move. And if they do, the next comment could be very true. Liam Worrell says Swansea will go down. I think they will if Sigurdsson goes. He's been so important for them over the last few years. All right, let's finish off with this. A bit random. Brighton for the title. Love that, Jack Cartman. Spurs for at least a 4th place. And Zubin Sharia, Golden Boot winner next season, Adam. We'll finish with that.
Correct.
Who's it going to be?
Zubin who?
Who's going to be the Golden Boot winner?
Golden Boot winner, Harry Kane.
Yeah?
3 in a row.
Standard.
Yeah, got to be.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be mad to look beyond Harry Kane. Unless maybe...
If he stays injury-free, I think he'll walk it. Because he missed, 2 months of the season this year still,
and still scored 38 goals in all
that
competitions.
Tottenham team put chances on the plate for him.
Very true.
So.
I think Lukaku, if he goes to Chelsea, then there's something exciting there. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Man City's season next season, and that means either Aguero or Jesus going to be scoring a hell of a lot of goals. So it could be those guys as well. Right, that's it. We've given you the main bits from the fixture list. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed the live content, we're sort of thinking about doing a few more bits and pieces. So if you click that notification bell, then you won't miss it every single time we go live. If you enjoyed it, then let us know in the comments below or tweet us at Ball Street, letting us know that you want us to do more live content, and then we'll try and do that for you. Let us know which fixture you're delighted with, which fixtures you're gutted about, and where you think your team is going to finish in the Premier League next season. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and we'll see you next time on Ball Street.